For BWYellowJackets.com, I'm Brendan Gulick, getting ready for the OAC swimming and diving season. The Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets are, they've actually already begun with an unscored meet, but just about ready to go this weekend, and we've got head coach Laura Wolff-Demaline with us to give us an inside look at what to expect from BW this upcoming winter. First of all, can't believe the season's already here,
and my goodness.
Practicing's been going along, and things are going well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the men's team. The men's team certainly has some pieces coming back I know you're excited about. Specifically, Greg Shaw, Tyler Allison, Michael Morsch, all guys that have swam here really well, even if you look at it from a historical context.
Right. So the past few years for our men's program really have been record-setting years. At our OAC championship last year, we scored the most points we had in over a decade. We had a number of school records broken, a few school record relays broken that were some of the older records on our board. And so it's a very exciting time for our men's team because in a way, these men's swimmers that are walking around campus are the fastest ones that have ever been on this campus. When you're breaking records that were from the 1990s and early 2000s, you know, you kind of feel really good about where the program is heading.
One of the names that's clearly omitted from the roster, if you followed the team the last several years, is Tyler Thompson. Mm-hmm. You could make the argument he's the most successful swimmer in BW history. He's certainly in that conversation.
Sure.
Now that he's gone, but several of his teammates are still here from the last several years, what do you hope that they learn from him that they can implement into their own routines?
Yeah, I think that one of Tyler's best qualities, well, two best qualities, were his positive outlook and his hard work ethic. It's anytime you have somebody that is that successful, to be able to pair it with being one of the hardest workers in the pool, it works well. So I think that what Tyler left the team with was the message that any of you can do this too. You have to work hard every day. You have to come in with your goals in mind. And in this current recruiting class, and also with our returning swimmers, they have their sights on achieving those same goals he did. And I think that that's a tremendous service that he did for this program, was to allow them to start to think past the OAC championship.
She mentions the OAC championship. That's coming up in the middle of February, and so everything in the regular season kind of builds to that, and depending on where the times are and the results, perhaps opportunities to swim beyond the OAC championship meet. I know one guy in particular that's certainly hoping to swim beyond the OAC championships is Greg Shaw. Looking at his growth from freshman to sophomore year, now as an upperclassman, he's in a leadership role and he's ready for it.
Yeah. Greg came into this year knowing that for him to achieve the goals that he set for himself, the work had to start in July. It's not something that you can say, okay, it's October 15th, so now I'm going to get going. So he definitely came back this year ready to go, and I think in addition has taken his leadership role on the team so seriously. He wants this program to be better in 2 years than it was when he got here, and he's really become involved in recruiting, you know, sort of being that that voice of leadership that you need in team meetings and that you need in the pool. He's really done a nice job of that so far.
How about Michael Morsch's story? You don't often see student athletes in any sport at BW come from Arizona, right. And yet here he is. So for those who haven't had a chance to meet him or know much about him yet, what's his story like?
Yeah, so Michael's one of those swimmers that he knew he was going to go away to school, and I think it was one of those things where he walked on campus and he found that fit that he was looking for. He worked very hard last year, and you know, we had a few event changes for him based on some strengths that we saw in different sets we were doing in practice. And so by the OAC championship, he was swimming the 100 and 200 backstroke for us. He was leading off our medley relays and was part of school records in the 200 and the 400 medley, and just missed by tenths the school record in the 100 and 200 backstroke, which are currently the two oldest records that we have. And it was one of those things where I think in that meet, in those days, he realized what he was capable of. And so, left the school year with big plans for himself for this year and big plans for our team. He's another one that has been incredibly vocal and involved in mentoring the freshmen and sort of, again, showing them how we do things here. Who are we at Baldwin Wallace and what do we want to do?
The last several years, it feels like John Carroll and Ohio Northern in particular have had the two really strong men's programs, and the rest of the conference has kind of used that as a measuring stick. Mm-hmm. One of the ways that I think teams can make up points, especially at the conference meet, is when they can dive well, and Evan Rinaldi has been a really good diver for you.
He has. Evan had dove and swam in high school and did both for us his freshman year and did both well. Last year as a sophomore, wanted to focus more on diving because I think he knew that there were opportunities for him on 1 and 3 meter to really be successful. He started coaching this past summer, dove over the summer, and really came back looking for good things to happen for the BW diving group at our conference championship. In some ways we have Evan and then we have Ellie on the women's side that are our juniors, but our diving group is a really young squad, and so it is so helpful to have somebody with Evan's success and some of his leadership qualities sort of leading that group. We have a young diver, Tanner Ellenboss, that I think really looks up to what Evan has been able to do in this conference. I think the two of them are going to work really well together this year.
How about from a schedule perspective? We've referenced the OAC Championship a couple times, but you've got lots of meets between now and the middle of February.
Oh, yeah. You
swim quite frequently. So what are you most looking forward to over the next couple months?
Sure. So 16 dates of competitions. It does. The 3 months in some ways seem so long, but then every year it goes so fast. We are going to be swimming at a different invitational this year. Our swim team will be heading to the Diamond City Invitational mid-November. Our divers are going to be going to the Worcester Invitational at the beginning of December. So both of those meets offer opportunities for our teams to see competition that they're not used to seeing. The Diamond City Invitational being earlier in the season sort of put the focus on the beginning part of our season in a way that it hasn't in the past. So we sort of shared that message with the team over the summer that we're going to be up and racing fast mid-November, so you guys need to come back ready to go. And they did. They really hit the ground running. When we got in the water in mid-September, this team looked more ready than I've ever seen them. And as a coach, that's great news.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Certainly looking forward to seeing the Jackets get rolling. Lots of meets at home, several on the road, but no matter what, we'll cover you along the way as best we can.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Thanks, Brendan.
All right. We'll have everything you need right here on BWYellowJackets.com.